deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music.
What up, what up, what up? It's your man, Deeper Than Music. Behind every great song, there's an even greater story. This go round, I know we kind of slacked off a little bit with this, but we're resuming our monthly film reviews with UK-based partner Final Cut Deano. So here today, we're here to talk some movies, get some feedback, and get some reviews from Final Cut. This episode, we're going to talk about. Oh my goodness, hold on. I'm a little ill prepared. I know we're going to talk about The Lion King. Let me get my list here. Sorry. And I also wanted to give my thoughts on, I saw It Too yesterday, so I'll share with Deano my thoughts on that. But Hobbs and Shaw yesterday, Spiderman, Far From Home, Booksmart, Blinded by the Light, Angel Has Fallen, Lion King, Crawl, and then we're also going to talk about the movies coming out next month and share our thoughts on the upcoming Joker movie. So, Deano, how you doing today, man?
I'm not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. Has it been about 2 years since it came out? So it's been about
Something
a
like
2 year wait, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so I saw It Chapter 2. So, yeah, that was my highlight. The highlight of my weekend, actually.
But it was.
Yeah, and I know that you're a horror film. Horror films are your favorite genre, correct?
Yep, they are one of my favourites, yeah.
So I'll give you. Do I really want to disappoint you?
I sort of know how it is, judging from what I've heard, so not really.
Yeah, I think at 3 hours, it was about 3 hours. I think it kind of stretched, but other than that, I mean, my girlfriend was thoroughly scared.
Yeah.
A lot of the experience, but I just thought it was a bit long. I mean, other than that.
So just, what do you think? Is it better than the first one or not as much?
No, I don't. I kind of think, and once you watch it, I want to get your opinion. I kind of think they kind of did a little bit of reaching. It wasn't as good as the first one. It wasn't as scary as the first one. And it just seemed like it dragged. There was one point where I was just like, man, when is this movie going to end?
So I was kind of like with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Because it's just so bum-numbingly bad. And I'm like, when will this end? When will this end?
Yeah. So it had a lot of good parts in it. I mean, a lot of make you jump parts. But then towards the end, I think things were kind of overstated. Things were kind of over, and there was a little bit of a stretch. So, yeah. But,
carry on.
Well, you asked me, do I recommend going to the movies to watch it?
I was going to ask that, yes.
The first 2 hours, yeah. But I would say I'm kind of on the fence. I could have waited.
It's kind of like Avengers, really, when everyone keeps asking, when can we go to the toilet? So it's kind of like you can go at any point. You can't go at any point in the first 2 hours, but you can go after the 2 hour mark's gone.
Yeah, after the 2 hour.
Is literally what we're saying.
Yeah, they were kind of reaching after that.
Yeah. I'm going to see that this week, so hopefully next month I can give you my opinion on that.
Yeah, because you're the horror expert, so I would definitely love to hear your opinion. It just, the first one came out real strong, right? And then you wait like, man, a year and a half, then this one comes out, and it's just like the first 2 hours are like, yeah, then the end, and it's just like it's just you're exhausted, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just one question: is Bill Hader any good
in the movie?
Yeah, because apparently he's got rave reviews for it.
Yes, no, he did an outstanding job.
What about Jessica Chastain and Jimmy McAvoy?
So I think All the characters did a pretty good job. I mean, of course, the humor was there.
Mm.
It's just, I feel like, again, at 3 hours.
For a horror movie, it's a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to, I mean, towards the end, I was just like, it was a little bit of a stretch.
So we're saying it's a good horror movie. It's not a bad horror movie, but it's just too long, and they could have done a bit more with it.
Yeah, I feel like they could have, in 2 hours, they could have done just as good. But then after 3 hours, it's just like,
I'm not sure. Right, I'll let you know my opinion next month. Now, shall we get on to the ones that, in fact, it's been a while since we've done a segment, hasn't it? It's been ages since we've done one of these.
I think it's been I don't even know if did we ever talk Avengers Endgame? It was like before.
I think we did, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Sure we did.
Last time, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what, hold on, was that April or May?
Yeah.
It's April, so, yeah. We've missed all of summer, so we might as well crack on because we've got a lot to get through. So, Olivia Wilde's directorial debut movie, Booksmart, which I went to see a couple of months ago, and I was really impressed. I really was.
So from her directorial debut was pretty strong.
Yep.
The movie's real good.
Yep, she had plenty of 5 stars and 5-star reviews, and Olivia Wilde has done marvels with this movie. So yeah, I actually watched it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I was going to, even if Jonah Hill's sister is one of the leads, and I'm not the biggest Jonah Hill fan. I hate him. It's almost like watching a really large Jabba the Hutt with even less humour and even less emotion.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how I think about Jonah Hill. His sister, I can see how they're brother and sister because they have the same sort of comedic appeal, but I think with him, he's just annoying, but with her, she sort of isn't. She's actually quite likeable.
Wow, so let me ask you a question. What is the annoying aspect of him?
Jonah Hill. I don't know. It's just you know when you see someone and you just think, oh no, I don't like him. Oh God, it's just him. It's just him as a person. It's kind of like the thing I hate. I hate Kate Bosworth, and the reason I hate her is because she has no range, no emotion. Basically, it's almost like playing Kate Bosworth. She brings nothing to a movie.
Wow.
But unlike him, who sort of disappeared, I think Beanie Faustine, who actually is Jonah Hill's sister, she might actually go further than he is.
So you think she's that much more talented, or
I think she
that
is
more likable? Okay.
Yeah, well, put it this way, I liked her in this, and say she's Jonah Hill's sister, that is saying something.
Yeah.
Movie itself was actually quite funny. It was kind of like Superbad, only it was only about 2 girls who basically spent all their high school days studying and didn't really do anything. So they decide on the last night, I believe. Well, it's year 11 where I am, but what would it be where you are? What would they call it?
You said year 11?
Yeah, it's basically the last year before you finish high school.
Oh, you're talking about senior year.
Yeah, senior year. That's it. Yeah. So they decide to have one last night of literally doing everything that they haven't done. Unfortunately, being a movie like this, it doesn't really work out the way that they either planned or hoped for.
Okay. And then you're saying it's in the vein of Superbad, and Superbad, that was a funny movie. I mean, so it's on that level.
Yeah, you can't beat a bit of McLovin nowadays, can you?
So it has that kind of humor to it, kind of twisted humor, and okay.
And it's kind of like The Hangover, when things just happen, you're like, oh boy, that just happened. That really happened. Just so you're aware, Carrie Fisher's daughter in this, and she's actually quite funny in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Although I must admit, I think there is one thing wrong with it. It's like everywhere they go, she's literally, her character is literally there, and I scratched my head thinking, how the hell did she get there so quickly?
So she just pops up out of nowhere.
Yeah, literally.
Okay. But overall, you would recommend this movie. How many stars or how many final cut?
I gave it out of my usual 5, I gave it a perfect 5. I actually in my review I actually called it a gem.
Okay. So, because I remember you said one of the movies that we talked that was on that level, it was A Star Is Born. So you gave it that. Okay.
So, since this is a music podcast, we might as well do a musical one next. And it's the Beatles movie Yesterday.
Oh, and this is the one with the. Okay, yeah, I know which one you're talking about. So everybody forgets the Beatles except for this guy.
Except for this one guy. I will say it's not just the Beatles that everyone forgets. I think is it Pepsi? I'm not sure if it's Coke or Pepsi, but one of them is actually missed from that. So it's Coke, is it? Yeah. Yeah, it's Coke. I can't remember if it's Coke or Pepsi, but Coke is actually missing from it. So it's kind of like, he's kind of going around saying, God, I really want a can of Coke. And everyone's like, what's Coke?
Wow.
And then he quickly goes to where he's typing on Google Coke, basically trying to figure out something, and he brings up something else entirely.
So when I saw the preview for this, I thought this movie could either go really good or really bad. So how was it?
It's now for me, I will say it's one of those movies I can only really watch once, because if I watched it again I wouldn't really enjoy it. Although my fiance really does love it. She loved it so much she bribed me unexpectedly into watching it again.
Oh, so you watched it twice?
I watched it twice, and I didn't like it the second time round.
But also, the Beatles they're a great band. Does it do the Beatles justice?
I think it does. It's not only that, but he actually struggles with one of the songs. What's it called? What was that song he did? I can't remember which one it is. That's it, Eleanor Rigby, because he's trying to remember what the words are. But he's like, right, how, does it go like this? Does it go like this? No, why can't I figure it out? So he goes to Liverpool to try and remember how it goes. Mm-hmm. So it's not a case of, oh yes, he remembers all the Beatles songs one after another. He actually does struggle with some of them.
Yeah, and they're just like, what is it? Is it like, what is the catalyst for people not to remember the Beatles? Or they just did not exist? Was it like a scientific alternate world, or?
No, it was actually the world went entirely blacked out, and then he got hit by a bus when he was cycling home, and then he woke up, and everyone's like, who are the Beatles?
Oh, wow.
So you could say a little bit of sci-fi in it, maybe. That's a pinch.
Wow. And does the world straighten itself out, or no? This is just the alternate universe, and this is just the way it is. No copyright infringement.
No, it doesn't actually. Really go into how it actually finishes. It's just a case of songwriter gets the love of his life, and they live happily ever after.
So it's a love story.
Yeah,
with the Beatles in it. Okay.
Yeah.
And overall, what would you give this one? Because you've seen it twice, but not by choice.
I have, yeah. I would. Well, this is me personally. I know I do like the Beatles, and obviously it's not my cup of tea as such. I gave it 1.5, but I would say for anyone who does actually enjoy a music movie, it will actually be worth a watch.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I've just been handed a piece of paper that tells me to remind you that Ed Sheeran was in it.
Oh, Ed Sheeran was in it.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Did he have a small role, big role, medium-sized role? Or?
I would say medium-sized, because he's actually Ed Sheeran actually goes to Jack's house. That's the name of the main character. He says, I'd like you to join me on my European tour. Then we do the tour. Then he's sort of non-existent until the end when Jack asks him for a favour.
Oh,
and I don't really want to give away what that favour is because that would just ruin it.
Because I remember there was in the trailer, there was a scene where he's singing like a Beatles lyric, and Ed Sheeran is like, "That's genius," or something like that. Okay, I do remember that in the trailer.
Yeah. Although I must admit, replacing "Hey Jude" with "Hey Dude" is not a good look. No, it does not work. It does not work.
And I was wondering if that offended any Beatles fans.
I'm pretty sure it did. There's always one or two. I will say, however, Robert Carlyle, who has done a lot of movies in his time, he's done 28 Days Later. You might have heard of Full Monty.
Yeah, okay, I remember the Full. That was back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, he actually did. He actually played the part of John Lennon, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" And I had to wait until the end credits and see that's Robert Carlyle. I'm like, what? Honestly, I've never known an actor where so much makeup, and I'm like, I don't even know who this guy is. Who is he?
Does he look like Lennon?
I think I didn't really see much of John Lennon because obviously he was before my time. But if I'm being brutally honest, he kind of looked like John Lennon, as far as I'm aware.
Okay. So how many stars would you give this? Do you recommend go seeing it at the movie theater, or you can wait till it's streaming on Amazon? If
this was last couple of months ago, I would have said personally wait until Amazon Prime, and I can sort of say now that I wouldn't say buy it straight on DVD because when everything comes out on DVD, it's sort of like should I buy it straight away? No, I would say rent it or buy it on Amazon, Netflix, or wherever it comes out on. But that's just my opinion. Obviously, there's Beatles fans who probably do want to watch it, in which case I will happily say go and buy it straight away.
Okay.
Shall we get on with Spidey? Let's just get this out of the way.
This one I actually did see. So this is when he goes abroad, correct?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I saw this one. So yeah, I want to hear what your thoughts were on this movie.
It was brilliant. Although I must admit, I was a bit scratching my head at the either first or second after scene credit. But I'm like, oh yeah. Of course, that's not. Nick Fury would have been so suspicious of everything, but then we find out it's not actually Nick Fury. Mm-hmm. And now, I actually have watched my fair share of Spider-Man animated series, so I know who Mysterio is.
Yeah.
So obviously it's a bit of a giveaway because I know straight away who Mysterio is, and everyone else was watching it. It's kind of like, who is Mysterio?
Yeah, it's been a while, so yeah, I actually had to scratch my head because I remember the cartoons. I used to watch the 80s cartoons, so it's been a long time.
I used to watch the 90s. Of course, my other half is a big Jake Gyllenhaal fan, so she will say he's the best Mysterio there is. Whereas I actually think 90s Mysterio, even though it was only a voice actor, he was still better because he actually had like a proper movie effects guy's voice. It's kind of like it brought up the mystery a bit more with his voice.
Yeah.
Whereas Jake Gyllenhaal plays his Mysterio like a vengeful outcast.
Yeah. So overall, I think he. Did you think he did a pretty good job in the movie? Or?
I think Jake did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. Yeah, the movies took over $1 billion, so it's actually Sony's the most profits Sony's ever took on a Spider-Man movie.
Oh wow! Throughout the whole franchise.
No, just that one movie.
Oh, okay.
Just that one movie took $1 billion.
Wow, I didn't know that, but it was good. I mean, it kept me engaged, even with the CGI and everything that it had going on. Unfortunately for me, the new Spider-Man, I haven't really got into. I haven't seen the other Spider-Mans that he was in. I'm still reeling from what's his name, Maguire.
Tobey Maguire, yeah.
Yeah.
I sort of didn't really like Tobey Maguire. I kind of like Andrew Garfield better.
Yeah. Like Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire was the most horrible.
Yeah. Oh, God. No, don't remind me of that. Please do not remind me of that. Oh, God. I still get nightmares of that movie.
Yeah, but this one was good. I like this one. And that makes sense that it made $1 billion. It has profited $1 million so far.
Unfortunately, Spidey will no longer be in the MCU.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately.
So how many stars did you give this one?
1 second. Gave it 4 out of 5.
Okay. What didn't you like about the movie?
Obviously, well, one thing it kind of ruined for me is obviously I know who Mysterio is, so it kind of ruined it as like there's no big major baddie that I don't know. Yeah. I will say one thing though, I did sort of know what was going to happen afterwards as well.
Oh, you already know what's going to happen.
I already knew. So I'm not sure if we should tell the ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, we don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to spoil it. Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, that's other thing I didn't like. You know how there's a Spidey sense?
Yeah.
They called it. Apparently, it was called in the movie Peter's Tingle, which kind of sounds wrong.
Yeah,
it tingle, really does.
Yeah, that's right. Didn't his mom coin that or something like that?
Yeah. Oh God. That's why, children, if you're listening, this is why you don't let your parents name stuff for you. That's why you put your own spin on it.
Yeah.
Shall we move on?
Yes. So you said.
Yeah, there's... hold on, where am I going? Oh, yeah. Keeping in touch with the musical tone, there was the Bruce Springsteen-inspired movie, Blinded by the Light.
Oh, yeah. And this one, Bruce Springsteen, the guy's from England, right? And he goes to, he loves Bruce Springsteen, so he goes to New Jersey. Yeah. Yeah,
he does actually, yeah. He's actually... It's actually set in 80s Britain, where basically Britain was not... Well, I don't even know if you can say it's as good as it is now. The majority of people say it's not. Basically, a student who's basically... He's got a pretty good education. He wants to move out. He wants to move out of his parents' house and he wants to go to uni. But his dad's set in the old times, I'll say, where it's like, no, you must do this. You must get a decent job and provide for your family. So it's kind of hard, particularly as my family are still inclined that way. So it was kind of harsh. It was kind of hard, really, watching that.
Because
in fact,
you could resonate with how he felt.
Yeah, I nearly walked out of it halfway through because I was just like, "This is so depressing." It's just reminding me of everything I'm trying to break away from.
Okay. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? Did it
I think it's
with you?
It's kind of both, because obviously you want a movie to connect with its audience, but I'm not sure that you want it to connect to its audience in such an extent that you just think, "Oh my God, I really don't want to watch what my life used to look like." But I will say it's not all doom and gloom. It does actually get a lot better as soon as Bruce Springsteen is played, because then it just reminds you of what the world he lives in or the world we live in, where it's just like, yeah, do you know what? He is actually right. Bruce does actually know what everyone's going through.
Yeah. Yeah, because Bruce was. I mean, the boss. He was big in the '80s, man. And
yeah.
So, and then he definitely spoke for the working class in the '80s. So I guess the main characters came from a working class home in the UK, and they had their core values, and he wanted to break away from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I actually quoted a line from the movie. He says, "Springsteen is a direct line to all that is true in this world."
Wow.
I could say something else, but I'd be swearing if I did, so I'm not going to.
Okay. So, besides depressing you a little bit, or resonating with you on a depressing side, overall, how did you feel about the movie?
I really enjoyed it. If you can look past how the movie kind of reflects the world in general, then you can actually enjoy it more.
Okay.
Oh, it should point out it's not a movie where he just listens to Bruce Springsteen. There is a bit of singing and dancing as well.
Okay.
So it's not really like Mamma Mia as such, but there is sort of bits of Mamma Mia, where they all do a song and a dance. It does actually have bits of singing and dancing in it, so it's kind of like Mamma Mia, but not on a level where that's actually the main focus of the movie. So it's kind of like the depressing bit first, then the joyous bit afterwards, with everyone singing and dancing.
That reminds me, I mean, it's been a while since we talked.
It has.
Talked about Rocket Man, or?
I think we did, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure we did.
On a Rocket Man level, was it as... Well, Rocket Man was a musical. So would you say, was it 50-50 music and singing, or...
I would say it's kind of like... oh, God. It's definitely not 50-50. I think it's more like 65-35. 65 in terms of actual storyline, and then 35 of singing.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's still enough in there. Still enough in there to keep the Springsteen fans happy, so that they can sing away when they watch it.
And then like 80s nostalgia, I can imagine.
Indeed.
Okay.
Very much indeed, sir.
And how many stars would you give this?
I gave it 4, but that's only because the first half of the movie is really depressing and it kind of brings you down. But aside from that, I gave it 4, so I took 1 off just for the depressing tone of it. But that's just adding to what the movie's about, really. Just showing you that there's more to this life than what you see around you.
Yeah. Okay. So it's worth going to the movies and check out.
Definitely. Definitely.
Cool. Just a little doom and gloom, but it's only for a little bit in his situation until he goes to America.
Yeah, he's actually... you know what he actually tells his dad? He says... I can't remember what he says exactly, but basically his dad making out the Americans are really bad. I'm like, excuse me, have you ever been there? Americans are lovely. I've been to America, so I know they're lovely.
No, I was actually reading just sidebar conversation. I was reading. I was just curious because when I went to America, I went to London over the last winter. I noticed a lot of people eye contact isn't real big, and then there wasn't a lot of eye contact when you're on the tube. So me and my girlfriend just assumed like, oh, people may be a little bit rude, but I read that that's not the
it's not
the thing to do. And then like
it's not.
You know,
I actually. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
No, I was going to say that we're kind of boisterous. Americans can be a little bit loud, and they're like, yeah, that's a bit much.
Majority of people in England just mind their own business. So if it's the case of everyone's quiet on the train or a bus or anything, it's not that they're being rude. It's just they prefer to keep themselves to themselves.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can see that.
So let's get one out for the. Shall we do one for the kids who are listening?
Yeah,
with
definitely
Disney's Lion King this year.
Okay, my first question.
Right.
Lion King, when it came out animated,
Ooh.
I watched it like 3 or 4 times. Does it live up to that? Do you think? I'm
going to say yes,
okay.
But I'm also going to say no. Because it does live up to it. It does a good job with it. There's the A-star cast that they got for this is brilliant. However, being an 80s and growing up in the 80s and the 90s, I still would take the 90s one anyway. Any day of the week, I would.
Wow. Okay.
But it's just because we grew up in the 80s and 90s, and obviously it holds a special place in our hearts, like 90s Aladdin does. But I think if he decide to do it again, it's going to have to do a lot more than what they did with this one to make me question my love of 90s Lion King.
Yeah, because I'm not going to lie, Mary Poppins, I couldn't watch The Return. Dumbo.
Oh God, no.
So do they? What's it called? I forget the word. But do they do this one justice rather than, because Dumbo, Mary Poppins, and I haven't even Aladdin. I'm waiting until it comes out.
Aladdin is good. Aladdin is good, but at the same time, I love Aladdin, but I still wouldn't give it up for the 90s. I would not trade it in for the 90s whatsoever. This follows that particular trend. I think even though they got James Earl Jones on board as Mustafa, which kind of like helped.
Yeah.
It's still going to take Disney a hell of a lot more than what they've done with Lion King and Aladdin to make me like a newer version than the older version.
Oh yeah, and then they also did Beauty and the Beast too. I forgot about that one.
That was I found that quite nice. Although I still can't picture a Ewan McGregor as a French talking Lumiere. That was just no.
Yeah. So overall, like, what did you like and what didn't you like about the movie?
I loved a lot of it, really. Donald Glover was brilliant as older Simba. Of course, there's always the old like, why are you telling this is because when Scar leads Simba into the where the hyenas are, he's always like, what was it he said? Oh yeah, he said that the elephant's head in the faraway land, and I'm like, it's just so gullible. Why, as a kid, would you believe that your uncle would send you somewhere that could be dangerous? And there's all the warnings there. It's like, I don't want to go too far. Maybe if he didn't tell us for a reason. He's like, nah, I'll just go on. Are you coming with me or not? I'm like, no, there's a reason your dad's not told you to go there, but you're doing it anyway.
Do they sing Hakuna Matata?
I'm sure they do.
Okay.
Yeah, they do, yeah. Oh, I will say one thing. I am the biggest fan of Jeremy Irons as Scar. I cannot pronounce his name, but I will try. Chiwetel Ejiofor. He's from he was Baron Mordo in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays Scar. He plays him well, but he is basically the Pierce Brosnan of this year's Lion King. His singing's not exactly great. I'll put it like that.
So does he play? Is he more of a villain than the other Scar in the cartoon, the cartoon version? Because he was pretty evil. That Scar, he was pretty. He was evil.
I would say not as much, but you still can hear the sinister in his voice when he speaks.
Okay. So overall, how many stars would you give the live action or CGI version of The Lion King? So, how many stars would you give The Lion King?
I'd give it 4.5. Just because I was ready to hate it, because with all these reboots, I usually go in thinking I'm going to hate this so much. I really am going to hate this. You know how the usual hammering of a Disney reboot goes, but
yeah,
I do actually like it. But I did actually say in the review, when I asked the question of is it better than the original, I glossed over it for a while and I said it's tough, but honestly no. But I would not lie. If anyone said to me, is it good? I would say yes. Will fans of the 90s like it? Well, maybe, but then again, everyone's not like me. I mean, I like it. I don't know if anybody else will. There's no Tim Rice in it and Elton John, so that's kind of a down for it.
Oh man, and Elton John, like that was the soundtrack of the whole movie, was Elton John, Circle of Life, and
yeah, who doesn't like a bit of Elton John in their lives?
So, and just was I? Because I mean, Dumbo to me, I tried to watch it, but it looked dark.
Yeah, the thing is, when you hire Tim Burton to do a movie, you know it's going to be dark, so why would you hire Tim Burton to do Dumbo? That's just scratch my head territory.
Okay. So 4.5 stars, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Right, so shall we move on to Fast and Furious?
Yes, so this is the spin-off.
Yep. This is a spin-off in the Fast Chise.
Okay.
Yeah, by the way, I just will point out I did not come up with that. Screen Junkies came up with that, and they are absolutely funny.
And how was this? Because I mean, we've had so many Fast and Furiouses. Does it keep the momentum going, or is it?
It kind of veers off into sci-fi, which I don't really agree with.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's about genetically engineered. So it's about Idris Elba's genetically engineered soldier, and I'm not even sure if that's what you should do with this. If it's going to be a spin-off. I mean, if you have a spin-off, it's going to be something different, but you don't expect genetically engineered humans with metal skeletons to be the bad guy of your spin-off franchise. So
when it involves cars.
Yeah, there is cars in it. Was it? Just trying to think what car Jason. Oh yeah, Jason Statham had a McLaren Senna, which is at least God, how much is it? I can't even remember how much it is. But let's put it this way: it's not cheap. So there's a lot of good car chases. Like there's a chase around London with bikes. Then there's one in Samoa for the finale where they're trying to stop Idris Elba from escaping with Shaw's sister. So it involves a lot of cars, a lot of NAS, and it involves pretty much one-sided fights as far as Idris Elba goes.
So does it fit perfectly into the Fast and Furious? Is it even in the? Because I like with Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift was like, is this? I mean, is it a good addition or spin-off to the Fast and Furious, or is it just like?
It's a very good addition. But majority of it is literally Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham laughing, basically taking the pee out of each other's trouser department. But I must admit, it's all right. Vanessa Kirby, who plays Shaw's sister, she's very funny. Okay. She's also quite tough as well. Apparently, when she did an interview, someone asked her about the jacket. I think he asked how many times did it take you to do the jacket? Because the jacket gets taken off her and then she beats someone up. I think she said it was quite a lot because she couldn't get it right.
Okay.
But she's very good.
So, how many stars would you give this?
I give it 4, but simply because out of all the fights this year, John Wick has been the standard. It's set the bar, if you like, for what fights should be. But unfortunately, as good as the fights are, they're not really John Wick.
Oh, okay. So as far as the fight scenes, because it looks like, the fight scenes look pretty decent. In the previews. All it basically is throwing a punch, Idris Elba reversing it, and then that's it. Whereas with John Wick, it was a case of it was literally nothing but every sort of kung fu you could think of. Oh wow!
There was even a horse being used for a fight scene in John Wick.
That's pretty interesting. So did the action scenes were they? Because let's think about it. The Fast and Furious franchise, it was all about the action scenes. It was like, doing the impossible. Like, did the action scenes live up to that Fast and Furious hype?
Oh yeah, very much. There is actually one bit where Idris Elba's Brixton picks up Shaw's sister, and Dwayne Johnson actually flies off one of the buildings. It's actually in London where this actually happened. They actually flew off the building and took down 2 of them while they were, not say abseiling, but they were abseiling, but they were running straight away. And Jason's in the lift just basically yawning and just saying, oh God, this is boring. So as far as that goes, yes. Banter's quite good. Banter's very good, actually. It's actually quite funny. Although hold on, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, there is one major plot hole in this. There's one serious plot hole. Jason Statham, as you may or may not be aware, is about 52 years old.
I didn't know he was 52.
Yeah, he's 52, and Vanessa Kirby is about 20 years younger than him. So, are the lot from Fast and Furious really trying to say that that even though in real life they're 20 years apart, they're actually brother and sister, who grew up together, who are only a couple of years apart? Are they really trying to say that?
Wow.
In all fairness, Jason Statham could be her father.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, are you sure they're brother and sister? I don't think you are sure. But yeah, 4 out of 5. It's definitely worth a watch. If I had the choice to buy it on DVD straight away or wait for it to come out on DVD's Blu-ray, or it to come out on, say, streaming, I would buy it straight away.
Okay, so definitely a good movie. And as with all our great movie reviews, we have 3 minutes left. The Joker.
Yeah, 3 minutes left.
The Joker. Upcoming movies. The Joker. Your thoughts?
Yes. I don't know how to respond, to be honest with you. I'm quite looking forward to it. Apparently, everyone says that Joaquin Phoenix is very good in it. There's some who basically say that Phoenix is not any good, but I'm more inclined to say that he will be good and it will be good because it's been more positive than negative. In the next month, there's the Judy Garland biopic coming out with Renee Zellweger.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, Zombieland Double Tap will be out in 5 weeks. And lastly, Ed Astra, which is a sci-fi movie with Brad Pitt in it, which I'm not quite sure of the plot details, but it does involve him going into space to find his father, who basically has something that could destroy the entire solar system.
That looks
yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. For over Downton, I must say this because my sister is a really big Downton Abbey fan. Downton Abbey, the movie, is out in the next couple of weeks.
And do you think that'll be good? I know Downton Abbey, we love it. I imagine you guys love it in UK. We love it in the States.
Yeah. Well, I won't say everyone loves it because I've never actually watched it. I do know that Dan Stevens, who actually played the Beast in Beauty and the Beast, he actually started out in that. So, my sister will be looking forward to it. I think it's all she's been going on about movie-wise for the past couple of weeks.
Man. All right, so what out of those, which one do you think would be the one to watch?
Personally, and a DC fan, I think Joker. But obviously, I don't know the full story. Nobody really knows what goes on. There is remnants from, say, The Killing Joke in it, which was basically the first proper detail of Joker's origin. So that might swing it in the favour of that. So hopefully next month you and I have both seen it and we'll get a chance to discuss, share our thoughts on it.
Yeah, because it looks fairly interesting. Well, we have...
there's 2 movies I didn't get through, but I'll save them for next month.
Okay, yeah, and I know, man, with 45 minutes it goes by so fast, but we went through a lot of movies, and again, thank you, and we'll resume this monthly, get back on that track. But again, 1 minute left, Dino, a final cut. Thank you for your reviews. I'm interested for you to see it and hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah. And thank you very much for being on my side of the equation for a change.
Yeah, not a problem, man. After listening to you review movies, I kind of get an idea now of what to look for and things of that nature. So with 40 seconds left, it's Dino, a final cut, myself here, movie review month here on Deeper Than Music Radio. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.
The truth is, the latest, the newest, deeper than music, deeper than music.